My dear Black woman, you are allowed to rest. You don't got to be strong. Okay? Hey, ladies, what is up? Today, I want to talk about not being strong, not being that strong Black woman. We're not going to sugarcoat it. That's what I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about being soft, taking that rest, and not being at the forefront of everything, trying to fight it all, fix it all the things. I know for me, I had to definitely scale back and not try to do it all and be it all, because now that I am getting of the tender age of 50, I'm finding that, I got to sit back and rest. I got to pour into myself. I got more years behind than I do in front of me. So I got to make the best of these. I'm not saying I got to go wild out or nothing like that, but I do know how I used to show up. I can't do that no more. I have to scale some things back. But what I want to get to is that being soft is not a weakness. It's healing. I feel like for me, I need to step into this soft life. I really do. And it doesn't mean I have to have somebody do everything for me. I got to have a man. I got to have a husband. It just means I don't have to be what society norms feel I need to be. I can say no, and that can be it. Okay? Let's talk about the strong Black woman trap. Society has put Black women, and there is so many other cultures, absolutely, yes, it is. But for some reason, it's like Black women just have to struggle. And not just Black women. I'm going to give you a scenario about how other women can fall into that struggle component. And I mean, not just emotionally, but physically. It's like the emotional and physical cost of like just pushing through. I think about relationships. I think about jobs. I think about anything in between, like focusing on jobs. Like, you have to like work twice as hard as the next person or do more before you can even get recognized. In relationships, we can go back as far as like grandparents and parents. They had to go through so much, but they didn't even have social media. Go through so much, sacrifice so much. I don't mean sacrifice to like, not buy nothing, to buy clothes and food for your family. Sacrifice so much in a relationship just to keep the family together. Oh, you got to put up with what the man is putting down just to say you got a husband or to keep a husband. That's just how society norms were. It was like you had to be shacked up or get married to have like security, if you will. Like, it's like you have to sit back and go through things, and then at the end you get your knight in shining armor. In some cases, not in all, but in some cases. And I was listening to this guy today on, I think it was TikTok I was on. And he just was talking about when people say things like this, and a person will come out and say, well, that ain't never happened to me. It's like it triggered you some way, somehow, because you want to prove that it really didn't happen to you. I know so many people that have admitted to me that they have a good marriage now, but their first marriage may not have been, or their marriage in the beginning wasn't good and it took years for it to get better, but they still had to endure pain. And I think about that same concept in the workplace, and just even in society, just being a Black woman. I don't want to go through it. I've been through it. I've had some sour situations in relationships, and I also had sour situations in the workplace where it took me a while to get recognized. And it's like, now I don't even want it. Now I don't even want to be here. That tug of war game, making you prove yourself. Meanwhile, they know you are capable, but they want to see how bad you really want it. No, we're not being the strong Black woman. But I also want to tap into what soft living can actually look like. It looks different for each and every one of us, but just some things that I'm, tapping into and wanting to, see, let's see. Creating peaceful routines. And I don't mean, getting up every morning, doing yoga, going to work out, making toast, drinking tea. I don't mean that. I mean, creating routines for when you feel like you're overwhelmed. What's your go-to? Like, prime example, I need to really do some cleaning, right? I need to really get some things in order because the holidays are approaching. And not that we're doing anything special, but I just want to make sure that my house is, in tip-top shape. I want to get my carpets clean. So that's another reason why I want to get my house tip-top shape. But I am overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed with work. This shutdown is tearing me to pieces. I'm not gonna, hold you. And it's because the nature of work that I do. I do deal closely with the government, especially when it comes to federal grants. So not knowing from day to day what's going on or week to week, it's definitely frustrating. So I gonna make me some type of soft routine. Like I need to go into my arsenal and say, okay, what can I do to make me feel good? What can I do to kind of bring me back in to kind of have a soft moment for myself? And you guys already know she's taking herself out to eat. I'm going to probably buy myself maybe a bottle of perfume, which I do not need. Or I might treat myself to a pair of shoes. Y'all, let me tell you, let's just take a moment. I purchased a pair of shoes off of Nordstrom's rack about a year and a half ago. Well, yeah, so say like during winter of last year. And they were suede, some Kurt Geiger shoes that they were on sale at Nordstrom's rack. Didn't wear them during the season last year. And I said, you know what? I went out to brunch last week. I said, you know what? I think these burgundy suede pumps look really cute with a denim skirt and like a white crew neck. Look at my mic. I'm just all over here. I said, I think it'll look really, really, really cute. Let me just put them on. So I put them on and baby, they felt like sneakers on my feet. I've come to realize my comfort heel for me is 3 1/4. So I'm really close to a 3-inch. That's my comfort. That's like feeling like sneakers. It's feeling very comfortable. My arch is not bending. Me and 4 inches, I can't do them. And I mean, I can do them, but it's like I got to sit down. I can't be standing too long. I get to my destination. I want to be able to keep my shoes on without feeling like I need to alter my day, if you will. So ladies, let me know what your comfort heel is for you. I know for me, it's 3 1/4. That is it. I don't want no 3 3/4 because that's almost at 4. Okay? We want 3 1/4. That is my comfort spot. So back to what we were talking about. I might treat myself to some heels and I want some really black pumps and I want a black blazer. So me taking myself out and doing this a routine of mine, like, just stopping for a moment, saying, hey, Kelly, pour into yourself. It's okay to do that within reason, whatever your budget might look like. So just, creating some type of peaceful routine. So when things get a little hectic, saying no without guilt. No. And that's right now where I am. I've been doing a lot. I've been showing up in different ways in my life for others. And I find myself really being pulled at both ends. But I don't even want to mention a few things, but they're bothering me. So I had to really voice myself and say, I feel like I'm not a priority. There's people in my life that are priorities to me. Before I can make a move, I got to make sure things is ironed out. But other people can make moves. They're not worrying about Kelly. They don't have to worry about, was Kelly going to eat when we ain't here? Is Kelly got all she need? Is Kelly this? Is Kelly? No one has to worry about that. So it hit me that I'm not a priority to anybody. So when I want to say no, I say no. Because guess what? I'm a priority to myself. And I have to make sure that I'm doing good for myself. Okay? And you do the same. Resting. Just rest. It's okay to rest. Let me tell you something. Today, I am going to rest. Once we finish having this good conversation, I'm going to rest. I have a few things I need to get caught up on. I got to get some blog posts up. I got to do little things. Ooh, we're not going to get into that. We're going to segue to that later. I was getting ready to go into a tangent, y'all. But we're going to stay on course. But no, rest. Just rest. Resting does not mean you're lazy. Your body will tell you when you need to stop. Trust me, your body will tell you. So, rest. And last but not least, building and creating spaces for you to feel calm and safe. That's your home. And I know sometimes we may sit and say, oh, I need to go out. I know some people tell me that they, home is their place. They feel good, but they sometimes have to go out and do other things. And you know what? Home is my safe place. But guess what? A hotel is a safe place for me too. Let me book a room. Let me go spend a weekend or even a night. Sometimes it's all it takes is a night to just kind of be away, especially if you have a house full of people or if you just want to get away. Sometimes going away cannot be the way to do it. Like right now, some of us can't even travel. I have a trip coming up next month. Y'all, my airport is not on the list, but my destination is on the list. My I have to transfer because the flight that I'm taking does not have a direct flight. That transfer airport is on the list for that 10% reduction. So me maybe booking a hotel in maybe a nearby city or in my city might be what I need to do or what I'm going to do. I have no problem with that. Kelly will get in her car. I will drive at least 3 to 5 hours to go somewhere and to woosah, eat some food, see what's going on. There's so many different places here in North Carolina or even in like neighboring states. I'm next to Tennessee. I got Virginia above me. I got South Carolina below me. Then you got Atlanta, Georgia. It's so many different places that I can drive within a 3 to 5 hour ride and I can have a good time for a weekend. But yet, if I look at me driving that far sometimes, and I'm telling on myself, and I want you to weigh your options out. Sometimes when you drive that far, that still put weight and strain. But sometimes a good drive can be relaxing. It all just depends. I know for me, 3 hours is like my sweet spot. So Charlotte, South Carolina, Virginia, I ain't been in Tennessee yet, but me going to the mountains or going towards that way, that could be 3 to 5 hours depending on how far you go. Nice, good, sweet spots. There's so many different places here. North Carolina has so many different things. Going to the beach, okay? We have some beautiful beaches here in North Carolina. Believe it or not, some of our beaches are clear. Believe it or not clear blue, just clear. And then you can see the sand, just clear, clear water. But yeah, so in saying all of that, there's other practical ways for us to slow down. What does that look like? I know morning stillness, like for me, I always mention to you guys, I don't have any curtains on my windows. So I will just let the sun wake me up. And I'll just have like a still morning. Like, I'll just lay there and let my eyes wake up as needed, adjust to the sun, adjust to the temperature in the room and all the things. I love a good solo date. So, solo date, take yourself out, pour into yourself. It's nothing wrong with that. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I might do that myself, again, making sure that everybody in my space is good. And then Kelly is going out and it's okay. Let me tell you this. This is back to that being that strong woman again. It is okay to go out by yourself without your family. It is okay. It is okay. Sometimes in the beginning, I used to feel guilty, but now I don't feel guilty anymore because now I'm figuring out a way to pour into myself. How are you pouring into yourself, but yet you still pouring into others? It's okay to have a selfish moment because if you don't pour into yourself and pour into your cup, you give when it's running over. Nobody said you can't go out with your family and friends and everybody else, but you still need to do things for yourself, by yourself, while you're by yourself. I'm trying to make stuff up now. But yes, you have to. You have to. And when I explained that to people around me, it made sense. And then they started doing things by themselves. Let me tell you something. One thing I'm going to do is teach you. I'm going to teach you. So next up is a digital break. This is my good segue to tell you what I've been doing. I no longer really post on social media. I find that I'm like a once a month type of poster. I'll post if I'm going out. My plan was to post when I go on my trip, just to kind of give you inspiration, motivation to pretty much pour into yourself, right? That was the purpose of me posting if I go on my trip, right? But I said, you know what? I find that it's such a hamster wheel on social media. Now, can you make some amazing money on social media? Yes. I just recently saw a post of a woman talking about her rent was $10,000. Even if she was lying, I believe some people do pay $5,000 for rent. So even if it's half of what she said, Cuomo just recently said he pays $7,800. So $10,000 ain't far from a stretch. I just can't see myself doing it. I mean, I know if you have the means, rock out. That just lets me know that social media does pay that kind of money. People have big houses, mortgages, all that. I'm such a money magnet, frugal spending son of a gun. Not that I don't treat myself, but I do it within reason. And I'm saying this so truthfully. It's like if I have 10,000, I'm not saying that people that have more don't invest, but it's like you can still live so good and so private with not spending that kind of money. That can be invested. That can be where you can live off of so many dividends and still have a lush life. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if you guys seen it on TikTok. I don't know if you've seen that, but a digital break. I just said, Kelly, no more hustling and bustling and trying to figure out what to do on social, how to, curate a feed, how to get somebody's attention, meaning brands and things like that. I'm more so where I am in my life, a quiet, cozy content creator. We look at how we are right now. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, I am sitting, I have on one of my loungewear sets. I am relaxed. I am in my chair, in my good old space with a blanket on my lap, and I am sitting here with my candle going. I have me some water. I am just relaxing. And this is where I want to be. This is where I want to stay. I do not want the hustle and bustle. Some places are not meant for us. And you guys know I've been doing this for a long time. And I've come to realize, Kelly, you can still do it, but do it cozy. Just do it cozy. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here. So a digital detox is what I had to do to move forward, not only just for myself, but yes, for my content. So I recently said, you know what, no more social media. I will post when I post. If I'm out and I want to share, if I want to do a collage, if I want to do something, it's not a priority to me to post on TikTok, to post on Instagram, to post on Facebook, because sometimes people have like their Instagram hooked to their Facebook. It's not a priority for me anymore. I recently started a Substack. And I started it for two reasons. I started it because my email list is growing significantly, right? And I had to pay so much to do what I want to do with MailChimp. And I said, I can't have a good email list and do a newsletter on MailChimp because I don't want to pay that. Again, I'm frugal. And not that, I don't have other means that can actually pay for that and it could be a tax write-off for me. Absolutely. But I said, no, think smart. You think smart, Kelly. And I said, where can I go, still provide value, still share my content, and provide a newsletter where I'm keeping everyone up to date on what's going on. If it's on the podcast, if it's on the blog, if it's here on YouTube, whatever that case may be, I'm able to do that with Substack. I can have as many emails, subscribers that want to get the information. I can have a plethora. There's no limit, right? And I said, Kelly, just go ahead and do it. So I sent out some of you who follow me on YouTube. I put it out there. I said, we have officially moved from MailChimp because I'm sure if you get the email from me, you see it came from MailChimp. We are on Substack. So when you see that email that comes from Substack, you know it's Kelly. Of course, I have it branded so you can definitely see that it's me. But I had to sit back and say, Kelly, how are you going to keep in contact with those who you already in contact with? I'm not saying that my Instagram, those people over there are less, because some of you are over there, but I just can't play the hamster wheel. I cannot have my phone in my hand all the time. And I said, I have to start now to get my phone out my hand, get my hands on some tangible books where I can get back into my reading. I really want to not just cozy it out with iamKeliB, We Age Graceful. I want to cozy it out in my life too. I see so many people having a good time. They're really, really enjoying the perks of being a content creator on social media. But I've come to realize that's not how my real life is set up. It's not. It's not. So I had to think smart. And my digital break had to start with Instagram and TikTok. And I don't know if that kind of like twined in, but podcasting is how my life is now. And I'm loving it. And I thank you for each and every one of you who are listening and who are here supporting me. In addition to my practical ways of slowing down, listening to my body cues. You know, sometimes your back start hurting, your knees is cracking, you just feeling tired, you done caught like a semi-cold, and you don't know where it came from. You think somebody your job done sneezed on you, wish they might have had. But these are like just practical cues that your body is sending you to say, slow down. Or when you go lay down, you sleeping so hard. You know, I ain't sleeping too hard. I'm in menopause right now. But you just sleeping so hard. Or when you wake up in the morning, you feel like you haven't gotten enough sleep. Those are just little cues what your body is telling you to like, look, we need to slow it down. Listen to them, okay? Listen to them. Let me know if you have some body cues that you know I got to slow down a little bit. Let me know. So before I close this good conversation that we're having, I want to let you know you deserve ease, joy, and peace, not just survival. Okay? Do not be running out here thinking you can do it all and you have to do it all. Rest, and please, let's put this strong Black woman to rest. Okay? Delegate, delegate, delegate. I catch you in the next conversation.